Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. I'm here today with Ralph Groschel, who has set up this amazing facility that we are in at the moment in Macedonia, North Macedonia. He's invited me over here for a couple of days, mainly to do a podcast, which we've done. And if you want any more information about this setup, and you'll probably need to listen to the podcast because there is loads going on here that we're not going to get across in this short video, but we sort of felt that it's such an amazing thing, it would be a shame not to give you some sort of video content around it as well. So first question to you, Ralph, what was the idea behind the Brainchild Laboratory?
Well, I mean, first of all, thanks for having me. Thanks
That's
for being here.
It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, it's amazing. Well, to answer that question, it's not that easy, but I try to make it as short as possible. I mean, I have been in the entire industry for, let's say, 26 years now, and I have establishing production facilities all over the world, in Ukraine, in China, in Sri Lanka mainly. And for me, it was just time to basically rethink the way we do production, you know, like on one side, and also like what is the next step in terms of what can we achieve with the next generation of products, indeed. And the Brainchild idea is all about, let's say, sustainability, like real sustainability, like something which is not a CO2 compensation certificate you can buy, but really going to the base of, like, to the foundation of what we can achieve by abstracting all the possibilities. Technology is available, like so many things are available these days, and what can we achieve if we go like the full path of sustainability? This is one aspect. And the other one is like how to drive the sport further in terms of manufacturing technologies. So sustainable and technology has to come together in a way that I would say it's like kind of a unique one.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. I mean, some of the things that you're doing are very groundbreaking. You know, people aren't really doing this. I've never seen anything like this before. And, you know, you're certainly, like you've said a few times, going to lead the race in terms of this new production facility, new technologies, new materials. I think one of the sort of the two biggest interesting parts for a lot of people, you know, you can see behind us some of these graphics, and you'll see in the video we'll cut in some of the amazing things that these guys can do. But you're only using all white materials as a base product, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And how does that benefit what you're doing?
Well, generally, if you use plain white material, you're saving quite a lot of water by not having material which is yarn dyed. You know, like this is like for the dyeing process of a colored material, you need 4 to 5 times more water just for the process of making it. So we have only plain white material, and we do everything in here fully on digital printing. And that's a completely different approach. You know, like of course you need also certain like different type of materials to achieve like this kind of quality. But generally it's all white. It makes the process much easier. You save the water. You have like tons of different more opportunities, and the product basically becomes art than just an original panel design.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just obvious that it's something really different.
Yeah, I mean, in traditional sort of manufacturing, you're limited by the panel layout and the colors that you can get from the factory in terms of what colors you can use. And obviously with the material shortage at the moment, a lot of brands are kind of, you know, the graphics aren't perhaps what they want them to be because they're limited. Whereas you can literally do anything, can't you? I mean, it's I've seen the printing. You're going to be looking at some cuts of it now as we're talking, but it is unbelievable what you guys can do. It's almost like infinite possibilities in terms of how products can now look.
It's just like a new generation, I would say. Like, I mean, this is what we are doing at the moment just leads us to like definitely completely new set of combinations. Or for example, the backpack is 100% matching to the kite itself. You know, like it is just like a different approach. It is, gives you the flexibility on one side, but on the other side, it is the most ecological way of putting color onto a product, you know, like with infinite possibilities. You know, like this is the ink we are using is eco-solvent ink, and this is pretty much what you're having on the bed sheet if it's printed. You know, like this is a technology which is available since many years, but it was kind of a hard and difficult thing to put it onto this like high technical products.
Yeah, and in addition to, you know, digital printing, white fabric, which reduces wastage and creates a lot of opportunity for the look and feel. You're also using a lot of recycled products, recycled yarn, recycled plastic, all those kind of things. Is that a sort of a no-brainer for the future, that this is where the sport has to go? We need to be more careful about the products we use?
Well, I do believe that we have to make a huge difference. And like we are in a lifestyle-driven market. And the opportunity by being in this type of market is that the awareness of the product is much higher than in other sports or industries in general, I would say. So what we try is to set new standards. So whatever we do, like every single seam, every valve, every disc, everything, 100%, every little detail, like if there are 150, like let's say items on it, I try to reinvent 150 items. Just to the point where I said like, okay, it's from the technology point of view, it's better, but definitely it's also better from the ecologically aspect as well. Yeah, we are not using any plastics. We are putting everything into cotton bags, which are also usable. We always try to come up with a package solution. Yeah, to rethink the way we actually dealing and handling with the product.
It's quite amazing to see it up in the flesh, and these products will be available in about a year's time, do you think, or on the market for people to buy? So it's going to be a little wait, but it's something to get very excited about. And it's not just the materials and how you're doing things, but the construction. I think the pro world is probably the biggest, that really blew me away. And Ralph just asked me to pick up a leading edge of a wing, and he's like, what do you think of it? And I was like, oh, there's no seams. And what's the theory behind that?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, this product, there's so much labor involved, of course, and being in Macedonia, being in Europe, being having the chance to recreate supply chains is a very positive thing, but of course the labor costs are much higher, which is totally fine. It's absolutely good, there's a good reason why you have to pay more, and we really try to treat our employees in the best way possible. But to reduce the cost in general, I had to come up with an idea how to put the leading edge panels together. And this is not with a seam, it's basically with a welding technology. And I started on this project in 2009, which is 13 years ago. And it took me really 13 years to figure out how to get this structure together, that it's holding. And by having no seams, you have an entire set of new possibilities. For example, the structural stiffness is way higher because you don't have the seams, you don't have the ballooning effect in between the segments. I mean,
we did a little test and we actually tried to bend the leading edge, and it is super stiff.
It's super really stiff, exactly. There's no ballooning. There's a much higher integrity between the segments. So this is one positive effect. It is way lighter.
Yeah, because there's less stitching involved.
Exactly, there's less material involved. So this is another huge aspect of it. And then, of course, you can also play games by reducing the bladders, for example, because there are less obstacles sticking to the inside of the material.
Yeah.
So I would say, when it comes to a generation in manufacturing technology, I think it's just the start of a new generation of products.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to that type of technology, and of course, as mentioned, we try to put all the bits and pieces together, really from A to Z, to create the most valuable package for our customers and for the end consumers. In the end, working for Duoton for so many years now and trying to set the tone also for several kite models. Of course, it is my intention to set new standards all the time, always.
I mean, it's incredible to see the passion that's been going on here, and I think, is it 13 months you've been working on building this facility, which we can't show you because it's top secret, unfortunately, but it is. I've never seen anything like it. But obviously, Ralph's been working on a lot of this for a lot longer. You've been, designing products for the last 26 years, is it?
26 years,
yeah. So a really long time. So it's kind of the culmination of all of his knowledge. And one thing that if you listen to the podcast or you read the article, you'll see about it. But it's the attention to detail. Every little product or part is considered and thought about. And it's how can we save weight? How can we use a better material? How can we make this thing better? And I think that's what's so impressive. And then when you see the finished product, it's just completely mind-blowing, absolutely bonkers. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, that was the entire intention, and of course, really, this is it's bringing the bits and pieces together. It is, I'm always talking about the magic triangle for the future. And the triangle means basically you have to have the designer, the material supplier, and the manufacturing technology in a circle or in a triangle. And you have to close that loop. If you don't close the loop, you won't be able to invent. Yeah, because we have been seeing over the last year what a change of material, for example, what kind of an influence it had, an impact it had into the market.
Yeah,
and
huge.
this is basically just this idea to every little bit and piece. Like this is just the same idea, but as big as ever possible. You know, like this is really to capture it all, to get like away from Asia. Due to many reasons, you know, like it's not that the Asian people are not performing. This is absolutely not the point. But it is like we have a different kind of an access to technology here in Europe, especially when it comes to recycled products.
Yeah.
So we are trying to get local sources, like everything here, like all the plastic parts. We do have plastic parts, but recycled mainly. The molds are manufactured here, 2.5 kilometers. The injection molding is 25 kilometers away from here. So it is really a kind of a different approach it's like a blank piece of paper, and then you're basically starting out like, how should the perfect world look like?
Yeah.
That was pretty much like kind of the idea, like what would I change? And as you can see with the product in the end, I tried actually to make everything different.
Yeah.
To rethink everything and have no limitations. I mean, there's quite a lot of money involved in here, like private money. And but it's needed to actually have the chance actually to restart, like to push the sport, and maybe if we're good enough, also to influence others, which is my personal dream.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key, isn't it? You know, we all know how important sustainability is and what we need to be doing in terms of changing the way that we think about how we live our lives so that we can enjoy the planet and the nature that we've got for a lot longer. And it's incredibly impressive to see all the little steps that you've gone through to sort of, you know, make this work. But then it's not just a truly sustainable product and a truly sustainable production facility, but it's an incredible product as well. Like the finished product is good because of the technologies that you've implemented and everything like that. So for me, coming here for the last couple of days, it's been a phenomenal trip and a real eye-opener, and I had no idea what to expect. Ralph took me paragliding today. I definitely was not expecting to jump off a mountain. That was really good fun. There's no video footage of that though, thankfully.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, our landings were spot on. But yeah, so it's been like a really amazing trip, and I'm really actually genuinely very excited about these products coming to market, because you know what we're trying to convey in the article that we're writing, in the podcast that we've done, and in this little short video, you'll see some close-ups and you'll get a little glimpse of what's coming, and you're going to see it being trickled out onto the media. But once you get your hands on it and you look at how different this is, I think that's really going to blow you away. And then you're going to have the sort of peace of mind that it's been created with the environment in mind, and it's been created consciously, and it's not just been, oh, let's just chuck this together and make it and not think about it. And you know, it is a real step change, I think, in how the industry is going to work, which I think is fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the products come to market.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That puts it nicely together.
Yeah.
I also do hope that actually that we are able to attract many customers which actually share the same passion. You know, like, because what we are doing in here is kind of a revolution in the industry in several ways. And I mean, we talked about the campus idea. I mean, the video here is definitely too short, but we have the podcast. Yeah. So it is just, we are here to motivate the people. Yeah. You know, like basically to follow also our idea and to create like a kind of a community, which is then pushing the things further. So this is just the base. This is basically just the beginning, hopefully, of something which is like maybe leading this industry and maybe also going to influence others. Who knows? And then if it influences others, the whole industry can change, which is what the world needs, right? Yeah, well, that's kind of the goal. Sounds a bit crazy. Yeah, but we need sometimes these things, you have to have crazy people. We need these things. But I think it's amazing. I hope you've enjoyed this short video. Do listen to the podcast. Do check out the article, which is going to be in either Tonic or IKSurf magazine. I've not decided yet, but it'll be in one of our titles. And we'll be having a lot more information about it in the coming months and year. And then hopefully soon you'll be able to see some of these amazing Brainchild products from your favourite brands. Fantastic. Thanks, Ralph. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much.